The first whistle, the last dance for someone at a World Cup.
No athlete alive splits a room like Cristiano Ronaldo. Say his name in any country, in any language, on any continent, and watch what happens. Some people light up, others roll their eyes. Nobody shrugs, nobody feels nothing. For more than 20 years, this one man from a tiny island called Madeira has been the most worshipped and the most argued about human in the history of sport. And this summer, the world watched what he says will be his final act on football's biggest stage. The reaction told us everything about who he really is. To understand the noise, you have to understand the scale. Ronaldo isn't just famous. He is one of the most followed human beings who has ever lived, a face recognized in villages that don't have running water. When he posts, hundreds of millions of people see it in seconds. When he scores, entire nations shake. When he does his famous shoo, the leap, the turn, the roar, stadiums full of strangers scream it back at him. He revealed that the celebration was born by accident back in 2013 during a match in the United States. And it slowly turned into a global chant that echoes in every corner of the planet. That is not normal fame. That is something closer to a religion. And religions create believers and doubters. Because here's the strange truth about Ronaldo. The louder the love became, the louder the criticism grew beside it. For every person who calls him the greatest of all time, there is another waiting to say he is finished, too old, too selfish, too obsessed with himself. And in the summer of 2026, at 41 years old, he walked straight into the middle of that storm, one final time. This was his 6th World Cup. Read that again, 6. No man in the history of the game had ever played in 6 World Cups until Ronaldo did it. At an age when almost every footballer is retired, coaching, or sitting on a television panel, he was still there, still starting, still carrying the hopes of an entire country on his back. But the tournament did not begin as a fairy tale. It began with doubt. Portugal stumbled. In their opening match, a shock draw against DR Congo, Ronaldo didn't score, and the knives came out instantly. The performances were flat. Then came a goalless draw against Colombia, and the questions grew louder. Was this the moment the legend finally ran out of time? Social media turned on him. The headlines sharpened. Millions who had waited years to watch him fail felt certain the end had come. And this is the part people forget about Ronaldo. He has spent his entire life being written off, and he has spent his entire life answering. Against Uzbekistan, he scored twice, and with those goals, he became the first player ever to score at 6 different World Cups. Against Croatia, he stepped up and scored from the penalty spot in a 2-1 win, a goal that made him the 2nd oldest World Cup goal scorer in history and the oldest player ever to appear in the knockout stages. Think about the meaning of that. While people half his age were watching from home, this 41-year-old was still writing records. That may never be broken. He is Portugal's all-time leading scorer and most capped player, with 146 goals in 232 appearances. Numbers that read like a misprint. Numbers that belonged to a career that refused to end quietly. And then, in Dallas, it ended. Spain beat Portugal in the round of 16, and just like that, his World Cup dream was over.
But World Cup, it's a dream. It's a dream.
The one prize his glittering career never held. The reaction was instant, and it split the world down the middle, exactly as it always has. Some mourned the closing of an era, others celebrated, and a fierce new argument broke out that surprised everyone. A former World Cup winner, Djorkaeff, publicly accused the Portugal squad of failing their captain, suggesting his own teammates hadn't done enough to support him when it mattered most. Suddenly, the debate wasn't just about whether Ronaldo was past his best. It was about whether the world had watched a legend be let down in his final act. That single accusation reopened every old wound in the endless conversation about him. Was he the problem, or was he the only reason Portugal got as far as they did? The world couldn't agree. the world never agrees on Ronaldo. But watch what happened among the people who actually had to face him. Before that Spain match, their coach didn't mock him. He called himself a fan, an admirer of Ronaldo's ambition, his character, his tireless hunger to be better every single day, the example he sets for young players. That is the quiet secret hidden underneath all the noise. The people inside the game, the ones who understand what it costs to stay at the top for 2 decades, don't laugh at him. They stand in awe of him. And the young generation, they don't just respect him, they idolize him. The biggest names in modern internet culture treat meeting him like meeting a king. Streamers break down in tears. Musicians beg for selfies. An entire new audience that never watched his early years still knows the leap, still knows the roar, still screams, "Shoo!" without even knowing where it came from. He has done something almost no athlete manages. He stayed famous long enough to be discovered all over again by a generation that wasn't even born when he started. So how does the man at the center of all this react to being loved and hated in equal measure? That might be the most revealing part of the whole story. Ahead of that final World Cup run, he was asked about the endless criticism, and instead of anger, he said something almost peaceful.
Because everyone wants to be Cristiano, but I give you the map. You think you will do it that? It's difficult. It's
the discipline.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in the life.
He said he was thankful, even for the attacks, that the criticism is exactly how a person grows the most. Let that sink in. The most scrutinized athlete on earth had reached a place where the hatred no longer wounded him. He had turned it into fuel, then into wisdom, and finally into peace. He insisted he lacked nothing in life, that winning or losing a World Cup would not make him any more or any less Cristiano. And maybe that is the answer to the whole mystery. The world spent 20 years trying to define him. Genius or egomaniac, savior or spotlight chaser, the greatest ever, or a man who simply refused to leave. But he had already stopped needing the world's verdict. As his international story reached this crossroads, he said he could walk away with a clear conscience, that he had given everything he had. This is a man who won the European Championship for a country that had never won anything before him, a man who dragged Portugal to heights it had never touched, a man who, whatever you believe about him, changed what people thought was physically possible for a human body and a human will. His career at this level may now be closing, though even that isn't certain. Portugal's new coach has already said the door remains open if Ronaldo wants to keep going. Because with him, the ending is never quite the ending. That has always been his final trick. Just when the world decides he is done, he finds one more chapter. So here is the truth about the world's reaction to Cristiano Ronaldo. It was never really about football. It was about what he represents, the refusal to fade, the obsession with greatness, the arrogance to believe you can be the best, and the discipline to actually become it. He is a mirror. People who chase greatness see themselves in him. People who resent it see everything they can't stand. And that is why, decades from now, they will still be arguing about him. The world will never agree on Cristiano Ronaldo. And somewhere, with that famous half smile, he knows that is the greatest victory of all.